This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek, which is being held virtually this year. Joining me right now is Doug Ramshaw. He is the president of Minera Alamos. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you, MAI on the TSX Venture and MAIFF on the OTCQB. Doug, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm good, Bobby. How are you?
Oh, no complaints in the beautiful virtual Beaver Creek. It's always a nice day here.
Yeah, it's getting me quite homesick for the conference going virtual this year.
Well, you know what? This is getting you even more excited for 2021, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's start with a very quick overview and history of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Minera is a gold mine developer focused on Mexico. Our first mine is currently under construction. Speaking of 2021, big year for us. We'll be going into production very early on in 2021. But our team has operated in Mexico for 12 years, built 3 successful mines. So I guess you could say this is our 4th rodeo. We're supported by our biggest shareholder, Osisko Gold Royalties. And yeah, looking to do something which I think is limited at the lower end of the spectrum in the mining industry, which is build mines, and I think the best way to play the gold price is to be producing gold. So, we're poised to do exactly that for our shareholders next year.
So what would you say makes the project and the company unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
Well, I mean, in the words of some of the analyst coverage that we have, we're building our mines with some industry-leading capital intensity. So, we're all about reducing capex because capital is our shareholders' capital, and as big shareholders ourselves, we want to maximize the returns. So our first mine, by way of example, we're building for just 10 million Canadian capex. And that's for a starter operation of 25 to 30,000 ounces a year. So we can get these things up and running really quickly. And then it's a kind of an Australian bootstrapped approach. We'll expand the operation, but we'll expand it out of cash flow rather than doing a series of, private placements to drill out, get it up and running, and then expand out of cash flow.
And what's your background? I mean, how'd you come into all this?
Well, I'm a mining geologist by degree, but I kind of went corporate very early on in my career. I was a former mining analyst back in the UK in the mid 90s. Been in Canada now for almost half my life. And yeah, it's funny, I have a lot of soapbox issues with what's done right and what's done wrong in the mining industry. And I think in many ways, Minera is the best platform I could possibly have to show how things can be done right. So, very lucky. I mean, I might be the face of the company marketing it, but the real brains of it are our operating team in Mexico. And we're building mines because that's the passion, to build stuff, not just to explore. We love exploration, but the cost of exploration is prohibitive. So what we'd like to do is get things up and running and then explore and have all the fun and games of getting assay results and making discoveries, in a much more shareholder friendly manner, doing it from the cash flow of a mining operation.
Very good. And you already alluded to this question a little bit earlier, but from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now for the rest of this year going into 2021?
Yeah, I think any listener, watcher will probably at one point or another have come up against the Lassonde curve. Obviously, there's that first peak in the Lassonde curve on the exploration, excitement, discovery phase, and then there is the giant trough, and that trough is this orphaned phase where you're going through far less exciting things like permitting, which certainly doesn't grab market attention, but it's very important as a value add moving forward. And then at the far end of that Lassonde curve, you start going into production and there's a re-rate there. So we're 4 months, 5 months away from going into production. So we're starting to already edge up that curve. But more importantly for us, we've got a series of projects which will sequentially build out. So we think that far curve is going to be a very dramatic one. We've built an operation that will survive in the worst of times and thrive in the best of times. So we're excited about being in a good gold market as we enter production. But on top of that, we've done recent deals on new pipeline assets. There is ongoing phase 3 drilling at our main Santana project that's going into production. We've had a busy year news-wise. Probably the biggest thing is as we graduate from the developer class to the junior producer class, there'll be a re-rate at that point in time.
Very good. And with that, where can my audience go and find everything they need to know about Minera Alamos?
Okay, well, to start with, the website at mineraalamos.com. I also pride myself in making myself available to existing shareholders and potential shareholders. At the bottom of every press release is not just my personal company email address, but my cell phone number as well. And I welcome, in fact, the best calls I get in the day are when I talk to investors and our shareholders, because what we do, why I have this big smile on my face, the passion me and the team have, we can't do without the support of those shareholders. So I want to be as available as possible to answer questions. And so, yeah, between my cell phone number, my email address, everything else on the company website, I think we are very approachable as a company, and welcome that approach.
No vacations for Doug and the Ramshaw. So let's just put it like that. So
pretty much.
when you have the cell phone out there, you got to take that call. So Doug, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
You too, Bobby. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft. I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek being held virtually this year. Doug will be there doing a presentation for Minera Alamos, and thank you all for listening.